day because it goes on ships and it goes through the water and it goes into the islands. Then it comes up into North America. So from 12/8 to 8/8, you got Mid City, baby. 4, after you play 4 for the first note, there's no 1. Because when you learn how to do it, you're going to be so happy. I guess around the turn of the century, 1900s, up in the early 1900s, there's more of a brass band thing happening where I had a bass drum player and a snare drum player, And so it consisted of 2 guys, but the bass, one of the most dominant, what I call skeleton, like the basic primitive structure of the beat that you improvise as time goes on. This pretty much this root or this, but they pretty much maintain the feeling of this kind of thing, and I think that is like the bass drum pattern. A bass drum player would be playing something like this: a 1, a 2. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. That kind of pattern, And the snare drum player in the very early stages, didn't have much training because this is folk music. So this is not necessarily, musicians playing who have teachers, who have money, who have been to schools, who maybe don't even have instruments until they got in this, but and workers, not like the ragtime players of the same era who worked in the French Quarter and, came from more affluent African black families or whatever. And a lot of those guys were schooled, they knew how to read music, took music lessons. But this kind of thing that we're talking about right here is more like what I call folk music, So anyway, you got the bass drum player and the snare drum player, doesn't, had taken any lessons, so, he really doesn't have the, all of this schooling or rudiment. So he just kind of, doing things like this. For example, oh, 1, or 2, or 1, oh, and of course, then, time progressed and it got to be, a little bit more fancier because guys got a little more stuff, so it might be a little more something like this. Oh, 1, oh, 1. And so on like that. You have a little bit more of a paying attention to that click, that hit on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That became characteristic of that beat, still is, and it's based off of physics, man, because it's the last beat that precedes the very strongest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the syncopation. There's the physics of syncopation right there. Yeah, and it's physical because it affects the way the sound waves are moving and touching your body, and then when that accent comes like that, it naturally causes you to feel funky. You know, so the music actually is real and it touches you and does that to you. So, and it's like that in a lot of music. And, you know, that's what make, you know, when you start messing with the plus minus, and the last minus, you know, it precedes the very strongest. You mess with that one. Creates syncopation, funk, bop, whatever you want to call it. It's just the laws of plus and minus. Yeah.
And that came from the parades. That came from the streets.
Yeah. There's evolution to it. You know, like I might say things like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you see now what's happening here. You can hit this. This would be the root. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That would be the root. So now I'm gonna say I haven't even gotten to it yet, but I'm gonna say this little beat up here is a variation that I like, and a lot of guys around here like it too. It has 2 parts to it, but I'll do the first one first. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay. You know, and the second one could be this. This would be a variation. You go back and forth and play around with it. One would be. Okay, I'm saying that. Now, what are these things? Where do they come from? They don't come from New Orleans, I don't think. They played like this in New Orleans, but where did they come from? They came from where all music came from, Africa. They came from the motherland. They came from the 12/8 or the 12 bell or the 3/8 or the 6/8. It came from 2 against 3. Which is basically one, 2, 3 over here, 2 over here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So to continue my point, and then you got this kind of beat, right? Ticket papa the cincuta. That's basically, which is 2 and 3, I think. Now, if you take it out of 12/8, you put it in an 8/8 because it goes on ships and it goes through the water and it goes into the islands. Then it comes up into North America. So from 12/8 to 8/8, you got this. One, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. So they both 2/3 claves. They both have 2 hits, then 3 hits. There's variations. I showed you some of the variations earlier. So that's where they're coming from for me. They're coming from the original African primal root beat of 2 against 3 or 12/8 or whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I mean, like, and then on a snare drum, one of my favorite variations is going to be a direct 2/3 clave, which I'll do something else in a minute to you and mess with your head a little bit, like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What is that similar to? That's similar to this. Tall and tan and young and lovely girl. So if I say See, I played a 2-3 around because if I played a 2-3 around, it has that accent on 4. Coincidentally, everything lines up on 4, works out beautiful. It's universal, it's global. It's right in connection with the mother beat.
And you're feeling that 2 against 3.
Well,
in your
2
body.
and 2 and 3 is a whole nother. It's not a whole nother story, but part of that is I realized that in every beat, in every metric cell, 2 and 3 coexist at all times. In other words, all right, if this is a metric cell, bam, bam, okay? The space in the middle is what I call inside the metric cell. So if I got bam, bam, here's 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm dividing this by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So for 2 of these, 3 of these, yeah. So this both exist at the same time for me. So I can say, oh, when I say, oh, I can say, a tall left-hand, young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking in the wind. You know, just, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's some of the feeling and that's some of the clav. When I say clav, those 2 main pulses, you know. Now, then evolution starts and you start getting into more R&B and other things that have like a 3-2 clav, for example. So that you know, and there's a million variations on that. There's an old way to play it, you know, more funky or loud. You got all of that you can mess with, you know. You know, I mean, for me, I use those beats in all kind of ways. I don't use them just in R&B or a song, you know. For me, I might be in the middle of this, you know. Ba da 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 ba scabadoo be chabaloo ba sing go ba 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 ba. Now I'll show you. Why? Here you go, here you go, here you go. I played this lick all over the place. I played variations on it, but it was mixed up into jazz. You know, I had it going in different limbs, but I was playing off of that. So inside of me, or what I was referencing is that mother cloud, that 2 against 3-ness, which here. boy, I be aiming for the 4. I be aiming for the 4, but not in a hurry. Because one of the problems that exists with people, you know, not that are different, or will I say that in general, especially with young people, they have a tendency to want to get to 1.
Like a big one.
In their any kind of 1 in their phrasing, you know. Whoa, bro! You're gonna get to the 1, you know. You know. So you know, and in this music we're talking about today, 4 is more or less the main color of the character of the beats that we're talking about in this conversation.
If I were to say, like you're doing, to me it looks like you're doing a press roll. I'm not a drummer.
It's not. Yeah, it looks like a press roll, and that's a problem too.
Is that a press roll? Or is
No,
that a military
no,
roll?
no. That's incorrect drumming. That's done as if you never had a drum teacher. Remember? Remember these are guys from, you know, who didn't have teachers, didn't have money, didn't go to schools that had you know. So I mean, no, it's like thinking ba. So I know how to drag the stick and get out of the center where there's more bounce and more overtones that I can work with. Loosen my snares to get more decay, you know, and you know that, you know. Whereas a drum teacher would say, "Oh no, stay in the center and make all of those equal." Where this is, you know, like, for example, I'm not thinking like a drum, right? Bop ba bop, bop ba ba. Some of the notes are short, some of the notes are medium, some of the notes are long, and all the increments in between. Ba ba bop, bop ba ba. So I'm thinking like I got a tube, a mouthpiece, and a tube hooked up to the drums, and I'm going ba ba dap. Boy, yeah, listen to opera singers and then look at the music and you see these breath marks. Man, and then you start realizing it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1. Man. Big, long, linear rhythms, you know, not so vertical. You know, yeah, singers are the ticket. Lyrical things are the ticket. Mouthpieces, air is the ticket. Because you got to take a breath. Perfect. And boy, that'll start to get you not afraid of space. That'll start to get you knowing that space is actually your friend and getting you to know how to use space as a note.
And it's
The ticket is that, you know, us people who don't have mouthpieces is realize it, you know. They at least play in phrases and play lyrical. Because I like songs and stuff, so I be wanting to play lyrical. So I be kind of thinking in those ways. Even though I play this instrument, you know, it's a little bit more of a. I don't know the history of that.
You know?
I don't know the history. The rhumbas that I learned were from the guy on the corner at the gas station by my grandma's house who waxed cars and compounded cars, and his name was Albert, and he showed me how to play that. He showed me how to play that on the hood of a car while I was working for him. So that's where I learned how to play it.
Because if we played like
I learned how to play it in the gas station in Mid-City, baby.
like for instance, like "Cry to Me" or something like.
So yeah, that beat would apply to a whole lot of songs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean it has a million variations. You know, I mean you can make if you just move your hands like that and play that little sticking pattern I play, which I learned from my teacher,
Yeah.
Charlie Sewer, and I still play it to this day, and I just play all kind of mixed up versions of it. Hold the sticks different, swing it, play it on different parts, and it works for me. You know, it's like it's like I might know 12 or 15 beats. I might know how to play 12 or 15 different kinds of beats. You know, but but really I'd say that what I do is I have about 3 or 4 beats that I use all the time, and it's just a question of varying them or mixing them up a little bit according to fit to what the music says
Yeah.
to do.
The music first.
Yeah, yeah. Like this simple beat here, you know. Which is. So I might have that. Change claves on you there. I put a 3-2 on you. 1, 2, 3. And then, and a lot of times my variation back here be. Which is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. So it's coming from that turn of the century beat. I'm sorry. See? And what's beautiful about it is the 4-1 comes in the middle of the phrase. 4, after you play 4 for the first note, there's no 1. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. It ain't my fault, okay? Work on that one. Because the melody starts on 4. The cadence of rhythm comes in the middle of a 2-bar phrase, as opposed to the beginning. You know, because the beginning would be 1, 2, 3, 4, bun, but it's not. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and 4, 1. Also, I like that measure. I just realized I'm sitting here talking to you about it. I've never analyzed the beat so much at all till I had students that asked me precisely what it was, and I said I don't know. You There's no way I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's no way I would rob you of the joy, the ecstasy, what you feel inside of you when you discover it yourself. So I'm not going to show you how to do it. I'm not going to take that joy away from you. Because when you learn how to do it, you're going to be so happy. You won't say, oh, Johnny V, show me this thing on a piece of paper here. Yeah. I ain't doing it, bruh. I said, this is folk music, Jack. Get with the folk. Huh? That works.
We're kind of talking about.
Well, okay. You play the line, and let's see what the root beat is, and then let's see what Zigaboo had fun with it, and he played things that he grew up listening to, which are very much close. He and I are 6 months apart, and he and I grew up listening to the same kinds of music, and we were in the same neighborhoods, you know, and and he's a beautiful cat, you know, and so I mean, he very much he's playing what he feels,
Yeah.
and what he's feeling is the neighborhood. He plays a real neighborhood style. You know, it's not like I wouldn't call it no studio LA style. I wouldn't call it no slick New York funk style or jazz style. You know, but he plays New Orleans drums like a creature of this part of the earth. You know, yes. Yeah, because he put so much of an identity on it that so many drummers and other musicians who even felt danced. Even people who were danced to that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to dancing to the boom, dana, dance, dana, play that, boom, 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 play it. 2. Yeah, okay, that's right. That'd be really playing down to the dancers, right? I think. But okay, now play the line again, and Zigaboo will be taking these kind of chances with the dancers. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? He's funking it up. Okay, a lot of the things that I don't know exactly what Zigaboo was playing because I don't try to imitate him because nobody can play like that. I just try to get the essence of his attitude, and he has a way of slapping it sometimes, and you know, and letting it be what it be. His intention doesn't overrule the outcome. You know, but his intention is so beautiful that whatever the outcome may be, that's the way I see. So anyway, so you know, okay, what's happening? You know, of course you got this. One of the first things I did was this. So there's you.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing I did. The backbeats, I know Zig does it a lot, and I love to do it. And it's like instead of he might not put those little grace notes there, but pap pap. You know, you can pap pap. And Zig is more like, and other people forget the two. I'll tap it, pap, pap, pat pat fruba pat pat zen cat cat. You know, that's very a la Ziggish, meterish, I think. You know, and I think personally, there's two ways to do it: right and left brain. I forget which side of the brain works for which, but you know, just try to get the essence of it and play that way and see what comes out. You know, because really, I think the idea is to get the feeling. You know, and then Stanton Moore has a lot of this stuff transcribed. You know, for the cats who really and there's some things that I don't understand, man. And I go to the book. You know, I find a book or you know, try to transcribe it myself, either one way or the other. You know, but around here, you know, Stanton Moore's you know. The good stuff he's pretty much got notated with really nice, good instruction on how to learn it and feel it. You know.
He learned a lot from you.
Huh?
He learned a lot from you.
He was my student. Yes, he was. And now we're both each other's students.
I just have this little groove that I've been working on with Big D, and I'll just play it, and then you just play whatever.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Nice playing, man.
Thank you.
That's good time. Your time feels so great, man.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for doing this interview.
No, thank you all for being so patient, man.